OpenAI shipped GPT 5.5 today at double the price. DeepSeek answered 6 hours later at 1/8 the cost. Meta cut 8,000 jobs. Microsoft offered buyouts to another 8,700. 7 segments, 1 daily briefing. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, China. Let's check.
OpenAI, $1.5 billion, structured as a side vehicle. The Financial Times reported today that OpenAI is committing up to $1.5 billion to deploy Co., a new Delaware LLC for enterprise deployment of OpenAI's workplace tools. $500 million in initial equity, $1 billion in follow-on. The private equity side is where this gets interesting. TPG Bain, Advent, Brookfield, and Goanna Capital are jointly putting in $4 billion. Valuation, $10 billion. Closing early May. OpenAI holds supervoting shares, and the PE backers reportedly negotiated a 17.5% annual guaranteed return over 5 years. Guaranteed returns on private AI bets are rare. That single term tells you how nervous the funds are about downside, and how confident OpenAI is in enterprise revenue. Separately, OpenAI's official response to Florida's criminal probe landed today. Spokesperson Kate Waters, ChatGPT is not responsible for this terrible crime. OpenAI says it shared the suspect's account data with law enforcement. Anthropic. 3 stories today, one of them self-inflicted. This morning, Anthropic silently edited their pricing page. Claude Code removed from the $20 Pro plan. No tweet, no blog post, no email. Developers spotted it inside of hours. Hacker News, Reddit, Twitter all exploded. Sam Altman quote replied, "Okay, boomer," on OpenAI's behalf. The OpenAI Codex lead publicly noted that Codex is still on the $20 plan. By evening, Anthropic had reverted. Head of growth Amol Avasar called it a 2% test on new prosumer signups. The public pricing page edit was global, not 2%. That contradiction is the story. Also today, Anthropic confirmed unauthorized access to Claude Mythos Preview via third-party vendor. The Reserve Banks of Australia and New Zealand say they are now monitoring the model over cyber attack fears. And on the upside,
Google. CloudNext Day 2 was quieter, except for Broadcom. Search rolled AI mode features, hotel price tracking down to the individual property, agentic calling of local stores, and a Canvas side panel for trip planning. Direct shot at Perplexity and Search GPT. But the money story is Broadcom. AVGO traded $420 today, closing on a $2 trillion market cap. JP Morgan put out a note. 95% of Google's 2027 TPU production runs on Broadcom's Sunfish silicon. Supply contract extends to 2031. Nvidia sells the training chips. Broadcom just locked up the inference chips. Same week. The developer keynote also landed. Model Garden now hosts over 200 models. 6 new BigQuery agents went GA. Meta. 10% of the workforce. Gone. 8,000 employees cut, effective May 20th. 6,000 more open roles scrapped. Largest reduction in Meta's history. The CPO memo cites, quote, "the investments we're making." Read, capex of $115 to $135 billion is now forcing OPEX out. 6 days before Q1 earnings. Also today, Meta confirmed its Model Capability Initiative, mandatory keystroke and screenshot tracking on U.S. employee laptops to generate training data for future AI agents. CTO Andrew Bosworth, no opt-out. They announced the layoffs and the keystroke tracking on the same day, training your replacement on your keystrokes, while 8,000 of you are leaving. That framing writes itself. Microsoft. First voluntary buyout in 51 years. 8,700 U.S. employees offered a voluntary separation package today. Eligibility, age plus tenure at least 70. 52 years old with 18 years at Microsoft qualifies. Same day as Meta. Bloomberg framed the pair as up to 23,000 jobs in a single news cycle. Same root cause. AI capex eating payroll. Both companies print Q1 next Wednesday. Separately, GitHub Copilot. The Register confirmed today all Copilot subscribers moving to token-based billing in June. Business tier $19, Enterprise $39. Claude Opus pulled from Pro entirely. Opus 4.7 stays, but at a 7.5 times premium multiplier. GitHub's explanation, quote, "The weekly cost of running Copilot has doubled since the start of the year." Nvidia. Jensen went off script. At Stanford today, in conversation with Representative Ro Khanna, Jensen Huang publicly backed a proposed 5% California wealth tax. Personal exposure, roughly $8 billion. His exact words, quote, "Whatever taxes they would like to apply, so be it." Zuckerberg lives in Nevada. Page and Brin live in Florida. The CEO of the most valuable company on earth just made himself the face of Silicon Valley will stay. Nvidia itself closed down 1.4% today. At Hannover Messe, Siemens deployed a humanoid robot running on Nvidia Jetson Thor. 8-hour autonomous shifts, 60 container moves per hour, 90% pick-and-place success. Siemens is pitching it as a reference architecture. China. DeepSeek V4 finally shipped. And Washington picked the wrong day to talk about stolen AI. DeepSeek V4 Preview. Apache 2.0 on Hugging Face, waits public. V4 Pro, 1.6 trillion parameters, 49 billion active, 1 million token context. API pricing, 174 per million in, 348 per million out. Roughly 8.6 times cheaper than GPT 5.5 output. Codeforce's score, 3206, beats GPT 5.4. Same day, Huawei confirmed its Ascend 950 supernode fully supports V4 inference. That is the first Chinese frontier model running end-to-end on non-Nvidia silicon. 6 hours earlier, the White House sent a memo to federal agencies accusing, quote, "mostly China-based actors of industrial-scale campaigns to distill American frontier models." Timing: weeks before Trump meets Xi. The memo landed first, DeepSeek landed second. Memos don't age well when the thing you're protecting just got undercut on the API. I read for today. Today is the day AI unit economics went public. OpenAI doubled the price on GPT 5.5. Anthropic admitted they'd been quietly breaking Claude Code. Meta cut 8,000 jobs. Microsoft offered buyouts to 8,700 more. Both companies print earnings next Wednesday. Both CPO memos use the same phrase, quote, "the investments we're making." That is AI capex named. And while OpenAI raised prices, DeepSeek released a 1.6 trillion parameter model under Apache 2.0, benchmarking above GPT 5.4 at 1/8 the API cost, running on Huawei silicon. One economy is doubling prices and firing workers. The other is shipping open weights on non-Nvidia hardware 8 times cheaper. The chip money, meanwhile, went to Broadcom. AVGO closed near $2 trillion today. Nvidia gave some back, and Jensen picked today to publicly back California's wealth tax. Read that as a CEO who thinks his company can afford it. Subscribe for your daily commit to AI news. New episodes every weekday at 8 p.m. See you tomorrow.